welcome to the Paper Snob. This is Tara. Today I'm going to be working on 30 Days of Sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life, Series 14, day number 29. We only have one more day left. That's awesome. So I know for yesterday's video, I mentioned that I had some photos to scrapbook of what my husband did to make my little garden safe from our dog who destroyed it. And if you have not watched yesterday's video, this whole little segment may not make sense to you. When I opened up the album, I realized I had already scrapbooked them. I scrapbooked them immediately. So I'm going to kind of bring this up to you. He built a fence out of PVC pipe and chicken wire and made it so that I could get in and out of the fence very easily, but the dog could not. Well, he could if he was super destructive, but he wasn't a super destructive or isn't a super destructive dog. He just really liked the smell of that dirt. So I wanted to show this to you so that you could see what my husband did to make my garden safe from the puppy. So let's go ahead and look at today's sketch. Today's sketch was created by Rebecca. It says Rebecca Becca on it. I think this is an awesome sketch. It's got a triangle, and then it's got some what looks like torn bits if you choose, and a sun, and it has 3 photos and some bits to tuck in here. And I have pulled out a very old collection pack from Basic Gray. This is Origins, and it is 2009, so it is super old. So I have quite a bit of it left, but I just pulled out what I thought I would use. The alphas, I pulled out some stickers and then some papers. And so my goal here is to make these papers work for this layout. Now I pulled in this flare. I got this in, pretty sure it came in my Some Assemblage Required Advent box from December. If not, I ordered it from her site. So if it didn't come in the box, this is just one of the things I ordered with the box. But he's going to be building this gate, and we're at Lowe's in these photos. And I just cut them down the best that I could. My photos are going to be a little bit larger than what she shows on her sketch, but this is kind of how they're going to go. And I pulled this die because she has a banner piece, and I thought that this would be great to put underneath here. So I will have to make it longer with a second piece, but we'll get that figured out. So let's go ahead and get started. I shall be right back. So I'm going to be very, very simple with this layout. I'm going to leave out the layers from the lower half of the triangle, and I'm only just going to cut this piece of pattern paper in half, and I'm going to glue it to the bottom. Now originally I had a different piece of pattern paper out, but it was a partial sheet and I didn't realize that, and it didn't fit. I couldn't cut it in half to make it work, so I just put that back in with the rest of the collection and pulled out a different sheet. My goal was to put a darker piece on the bottom, and so this brown with the floral pieces on it met that requirement. I like when I use different colors like this that I tend to put darker colors down towards the bottom because it draws your eyes down. And so that was my goal here. And like I said, I'm just going to put a triangle on here, and then I'm just going to start putting this together. So you saw that I had a die for my banner. It was not long enough, so I cut it with my Big Shot, and then I just cut another piece to lengthen it so that it would be long enough to stick out of the top of that photo. I do realize that she used a much narrower banner than what I did, but I'm good with what I chose. And so now I'm going to take the green grid paper scrap and I cut it down, and then I'm going to bring another piece in over on that right hand side for the tucking. And from here I'm just going to put it in some of the embellishments. so I know that I want to use that flare that I talked about, and I also know that I'm going to put a journaling tag on here. I just haven't decided where. I also wanted to use some of these stickers. These are not my favorite stickers. There's a lot of them left because I just don't really like them. And that's probably why there's a whole lot of the paper left in this collection. I didn't really care for the embellishments that came with the collection pack. I don't remember if Basic Gray made ephemera packs back then. I most certainly don't have one that went with this collection if they did. Most of the time back in 2009, I created all of my own embellishments with my Cameo. I didn't have a whole lot of funds or a very large budget for scrapbooking, and so I created tons of things with my Cameo and pattern paper or cardstock. And so I just don't have a whole lot for this collection. And so I'm just kind of playing around with this large floral bit. The stem is going the wrong way. I do fix that, and I tell you about how I fix it at the end of the video. And I'm just adding some of the little flower pieces. I know that I wanted to use this little black bracket for my title, just to kind of draw your eyes to my title. And mostly that is because I'm using the collection alphas, which are flat stickers. They are also not my favorite to play with, but I have them, so I must use them. And I kind of make them stand out, and you'll see how I do that at the end of the video. But I'm just going to call this Rebuild. My husband and I were at Lowe's buying the stuff to create the PVC pipe and chicken wire fence that he built to put around my little container garden. We also bought new plants that day as well because the dog had eaten them. And when I bought plants, I went with a few bigger than what was in there because at this point I had less growing time and I really wanted to harvest some of the vegetables that I was planting. So I took that grid paper and I stuck it in my tag punch, and I'm going to flip this tag over because I meant to use the other side because it's lighter, and I will be journaling on that tag. I'm just kind of trying to decide where I want it, and it's going to end up right there, and I'm just going to move the flare piece up. All right, I got this layout complete. This is a really simple layout. It didn't take any time at all to create this layout. I love that I used some really old product. What I did off camera, this stem went this way. I cut it and I just turned it upside down so that it would curl in towards my photos. I did some trimming along here so that the piece that hung off would no longer hang off. And then I put some of those flowers up on foam adhesive, and I traced around them with my black journaling pen. I traced around my letters as well. I like to do that with flat stickers because there's no dimension or depth to them and it helps them stand out. I also traced around my banner and I added a ribbon. Otherwise, you saw everything on here. I kept it super simple. Her sketch is beautiful, and I didn't want to take away from her sketch, but I also wanted to just get this story finished telling. I want to thank you so much for coming to my channel today. I really appreciate those of you who take the time to like, comment, and or subscribe. If you have any questions about this layout, just drop them below, and I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Thank you again for being here, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. Have a great day. Bye.